Like,
Right. Don't worry, I can help you. I'll help you. I'll put you off
I
real
got it.
quick. All right. Hello, everyone. Man, that was good, right, y'all? We learning how you feeling. You feeling good? I know we've been back to back to back. All right. So what I'm gonna let you do, right? I'm gonna let you take a quick break. I'm gonna let you take about, like a 5 minute break just to go to the bathroom, kind of reflect on all the stuff you've been taking in. All right. And then in about, let's just say 5 minutes, we'll be back here with our second to last session, y'all, talking about Black resilience. How do you actually make money? What are the best ways to make money in hard times? All right, let me know any questions that you have around that, how to make money in hard times. We'll be back in 5 minutes. We have 2 more giveaways, y'all, giving away some bigger prizes. So stay tuned, y'all. We'll be back in 5 minutes.
Security.
Your face, Marvin. Santa Claus must fist. All right, you guys, we can get ready. Hey, Paul. Cool. So welcome back, everyone. This is our second to last session. Marvin, I'm loving the goatee, man. Or that's what it's called, right?
Yeah. That's what I'm calling
Quarantine,
it.
quarantine makeovers.
Yeah. I had a mohawk a little while back. I don't know if you caught any of that.
I didn't catch it. I love it. Well, thanks so much for being here and you know, working with us as we, had a few bit of technical difficulties, so we pushed back our time a bit. But this is the second to last session for everybody watching. This is going to be a really good session. It's going to be with Marvin Scott, who has an incredible background, and Chisa Egbelu. We'll wait for him to join, and we're just going to be talking about Black resilience, right? In the midst of turmoil, what does it look like to keep on, to keep pushing? And you bring so much color to that, Marvin, that I really want folks listening, students listening, to hear from. Like, happy Juneteenth.
Yes.
Let's keep moving. Let's keep pushing forward. Let's keep experiencing some of the fortune that freedom brings. And so as we start, Marvin, I would just, so in this session, everybody, whoever's been wondering, man, how do I even make money in this time, right? How do I build new relationships in this time? You're talking to me about building Black wealth. What in the world does that look like in a pandemic and with police brutality and with the recession? And I think Marvin really brings a very unique perspective and experience to the table to really help us break down just a few steps you can be taking right now to navigate these hard times and to make money during these hard times. So Marvin, as we kick things off, I'd love for you to just introduce yourself, like who you are, where you're from, and a bit about what you do.
Sure. Glad to be here. Thank you so much for inviting me. I think it's a really important event that you've put together today. New York State celebrates Juneteenth for the first time as a state holiday, which is incredible. I think Virginia, I don't know, maybe you know the list, but it's only a couple of states so far, but it's on its way.
Yeah.
So I'm a New Yorker. I'm Caribbean American. My family is from Guyana. And I grew up in New York, pretty much tri-state. And I've worked in a few different fields. It didn't really occur to me while it was happening, but I've worked in finance and in financial sector, in music, and entertainment and advertising. Those basically are the three big areas, in music, in advertising, in film and television. I'm an artist now and an entrepreneur. I have a social investment focus in all of my work, between the storytelling and the stuff I do in business, which is really about having people of whatever talent set, think of themselves as investors.
Yes.
And bringing their talent and their time into those things that they believe in, those, sort of value investing, but very much always connected to community development and community enrichment, and even community talent development. So, you know, you know, the deals that I put together are, you know, supposed to make a ton of money, but also supposed to have a lot of impact. And I exclusively work in that space. I don't do anything just for money anymore.
I love that. And I'm curious, you said not anymore. What changed that?
Well, you know, it's so funny. I've worked on all kinds of interesting things. I've been excited about everything I've done in my career.
Yeah.
But I think it was really around the time of working at Sony. You know, I wasn't like in the middle of Destiny's Child stuff or Beyonce stuff, but I was in the middle of a lot of other things on that level. And we rarely were thinking about the community impact or the social impact that could be incorporated into whatever business we were doing back then, you know, and now that's so necessary for me. And so Kian and wonderfully, you know, all the artists that I've worked with in the past on their own have pretty much come to that same conclusion. You see it in their in their brand, in their business.
That's amazing. It's interesting how it takes a little time for folks to intentionally realize that.
Exactly.
And Chisa, welcome. It's
Thank you so much.
Thank you for taking the time. You know, we're talking about Black resilience, and I think just hearing some of your stories and literally the work you do is built around this. And before we jump in, I would love to hear from you, you know, who you are, where you're from, and what you do. Let's just introduce yourself to the community.
For sure. First off, thank you so much for having me. This is an excellent program, obviously extremely necessary. My name is Chisa Egbelu. I'm originally from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I live now in Newark, New Jersey, where our company is based out of. I'm the co-founder and CEO of a company called Pedal. That is PEDUL. It's a scholarship marketplace for students. It's a common application for scholarships. For everyone else, it's a scholarship builder. And that means individuals, organizations, corporations, and corporations use our platform to aggregate student talent so they can hire specific demographics.
Thank you.
That's the spiel.
Love it. And so, you know, as we kind of dive into this session a bit further, one of the things I want to highlight is that, so resilience, right? What is the actual definition of resilience? So resilient dictionary says it means you are able to withstand or recover quickly from difficult conditions. Able to withstand or recover quickly from difficult conditions. As of June 17th, over 375 companies have publicly committed to observing Juneteenth as part of the Hella Juneteenth movement. Hashtag Hella Juneteenth. Shout out to We Are Creative for all that they're doing and building. I think that's an incredible movement that they've started. But the question that I have is, are these public commitments genuine? And I mean, Marvin, you used to be manager of corporate respect. He's laughing. So Marvin is laughing because he used to be the manager of corporate social responsibility at HBO. And Chisa, you've worked with so many brands, including, not to throw shade, but to throw shade, the NFL, who that's a whole story.
Oh yeah.
You know, so I would love to hear you guys' perspective. Are these genuine? Should we be excited? Should we be hopeful?
I think off rip, you probably shouldn't be excited because we don't know. Yeah. We don't know. I feel like as Black people in this country, anytime any predominantly white organization says anything, you don't know. And I think when we see the actions, then we'll have our results. And ideally, those actions will be hiring an equitable amount of Black people throughout the organization across levels, and disseminating, honestly, anti-racist messages. So we'll see. That's my opinion. Marvin, what's your take?
Yeah, I mean, I think that everyone is different, but I agree in general that we're going to have to wait and see. And you know, and there's really, you know, the intentionality. There's one thing about hiring people. There's another thing about investing money, and there's another level of, you know, gift capital and things like that, where, you know, you just recognize the need and the opportunity and want to be a partner in it. But yeah, there are a lot of pledges that never show up. in the world, and and also I really think that what would impress me, I guess what I'm saying is what would impress me is not only the money, but the investment of intellectual capital to help elevate, you know, the platforms or whatever the mechanisms need to be, the new institutions, whatever they need to be, programs, you know, the strategies and the paths, you know, that would be impressive.
Yes.
Systemic change.
Yeah, exactly.
I love that.
Yeah.
And I think that's really good, especially for me, someone who is not to say optimistic to a fault, but sometimes I can overlook just the very realities of people not keeping their word and very much so bamboozling others with empty statements. So
40 acres and a mule.
Yes, I know.
You feel me?
We've seen it before. And so Chisa, you know, your entire business model is built around helping college students make money in hard times, right? That's the entire business model.
That's true.
And so how do they do that today in this environment?
Mm-hmm. I think that perhaps their situation obviously has worsened, but it's still the same situation. It's still needing money for school. And I guess a bit of it is our job, right? As a company, what we're doing more so now is convincing these CSR departments or these marketing departments or these talent acquisition departments, convincing them that this is actually the best opportunity for them to gain the loyalty of students. Whoever wants to step in now is going to be the person that these students are going to find their loyalty attaching to for years to come. So, and the students need to know that there are these opportunities out there. They have to look a bit harder, but they're there. So honestly, in my opinion, because their situation really has not changed, if anything, I feel like more people might be looking than they were before, looking for money. They just have to look a little deeper. I suggest, I don't mean to just plug like that, but I suggest looking at companies like Pedal. But at the same time, don't just be loyal to companies like Pedal. Search everywhere, because you can't count on any one location, because at the end of the day, this is a pandemic. This is two pandemics. Right? You say that. So it's really not being too loyal to any company, but actually taking the effort to look, because the capital is there.
And then Marvin, here, Chisa, can you mute yourself? I think you got some feedback. All right.
I'll do a sure thing.
Yeah. So Marvin, my question for you is, you and I have often spoken about group economics, right? And we look at other communities, and I'm certain that there's certain communities that they're going to do all right because they're working as a community. And so as you speak about group economics, like what role do you see group economics playing in helping communities, specifically Black communities, Black students, get through these hard times, make money in these hard times, survive?
Well, I've been looking at the diaspora. I think that we need to expand our view globally, and specifically into the Caribbean and into Africa, where you have, I think Ghana has been super clear. We're all welcome right there, like today. But already Africa, economically and collected, the community of Africa, the African community had already started to make its strides on its own. And why not partner in that? Why not partner in the Caribbean space and really create our, that allows us to have a really interesting economy. There's a lot of cultural reconnection that is maybe overdue. And, I think Will Smith, and I'm not, he said this in jest, he was serious actually, but Will Smith, when he first went to South Africa, was blown away because the narrative he had been given about South Africa was dismal compared to what he saw. And so we got to break through, we have to, be mindful of all the narratives that we've been thrown against ourselves and against our brothers and sisters.
Narratives.
So I think that fundamentally is a big space, fraught with institutions and governments and talent. And, again, culturally, even in America, we're very dominant. This is what I can speak of out of my own experience and knowledge.
Yeah.
American culture takes from Black culture. So a lot of lifestyle and all this stuff, is coming out of our communities, but we're not, owning it, and we're not growing wealth out of it. So, just kind of thinking more expansively could be a powerful opportunity for us right now.
Thinking more expansively. And you said one thing, Marvin, that, I was going to finish off on that question, but it really made me think of both you and Chisa have this commonality of telling stories, right? Chisa was a journalism major, and obviously you're a filmmaker, storyteller, and you talk about reframing the story. How can we leverage the power, right? The very real power of media, of storytelling, in order to be resilient in this time and help inspire others in the community to be resilient? This Juneteenth is a huge example of that, right? It's like, whoa, these stories. You see the ripple effect of one person raising their voice, telling the story of Juneteenth, and then all of the folks who rise up as a result of that. So I'd love to hear your thoughts there, both of you.
Sure. I'll just say quickly, we could keep it simple. I think that everything doesn't have to be a feature film. And I think that, there's been a lot of interesting content on social media in these last few, weeks, especially, and there always is, right? But there's been a lot more crafting of narratives and thoughts and small narratives, individual narratives. I think we can grow on that. We understand the Kickstarter world of, investing in somebody's stories. So I think that we just need to sort of set that up for ourselves and tune in and really be able to tune in. I think that we're accustomed to Star Wars, and, I'm a huge Star Wars fan, but you have to be able to get past the CGI level of story, or, having to need that to really tune into some of the stories that are out there right now amongst our community.
I like that. Tune into the stories.
Yeah.
I think that's a powerful point. Narratives and stories are the power of anti-Black. I think in that same facet, it can be the power of being pro-Black or creating this true equality, this true opportunity. So we need more Black storytellers. We need more, because if we know anything as Black people, is that the diaspora is not all the same. There's no monolithic Black experience. And so we have this huge opportunity now to tell all of these different Black stories. And if we don't take this opportunity now, I don't know if it'll circle back in the way we want it to, but if we really push into it now, it's going to grow. And it's not that we haven't seen that. Shout out to HBO. We're seeing it with Issa, and we see it on FX with Donald in Atlanta. But there's still so many more stories that can be told, and I think that even none of what you're doing is such a story that can be told. And it doesn't always have to be, like you said, a feature film, but it can be an article, or it can be 3 episode arcs, right? Docuseries. But there's just so many avenues and different mediums for us to take to be able to tell these experiences. And it's important because if we know anything, a lot of times we be what we see. And there's a lot of lack of exposure within our community because we don't have the storytelling channels and mediums that other cultures might.
Right. Man. Well, thank you all so much for taking the time to be here today. That was just dope, just to hear how you're being resilient, how you're encouraging others to be resilient in these times. And it's just great to see you all as examples, right? Strong Black men who are Black and are proud and doing the good work of just uplifting, you know, your families, your communities. Any final words of encouragement that you want to share with the students listening, the parents, the adults, the community?
We're gonna win all of this stuff.
Win in the end. Come
We're
on.
gonna win. You know, just let everybody know we already won. In a way, we already won. You know, I'm excited about the resilience. I'm excited about the multi-generational, you know, protest and unity and focus. I'm concerned about like not letting this stuff that has happened for 400 years go past our watch. And
that's good. That's good. Come on.
Yeah, no, yeah, I don't want no 3-year-old baby having to deal with this stuff. No, we're just done.
I love it.
Brother, I just I'm excited to hear about your platform and meet you, and I just wanted to, you know, support that and you know, give you an applause and kudos for the work you're doing too.
Oh no, we gonna connect, bro. We about to be best friends.
Well, thank you guys. Have a happy Juneteenth. Thank you for building Black empires and being an example for us to look up to, and enjoy the weekend.
Thank you, Nana. Appreciate you.
Always.
Thanks for having us.
You guys, of course.
Bless.
Good night.